Isak to Liverpool. Can you imagine adding an elite striker like that with Wirtz, Frimpong and Kirks? But that would mean one of the greatest transfer windows for a team of all time. Richard Hughes and Michael Edwards are trying to assemble the Avengers for Slot. Isak isn't just one of the best strikers in the Premier League. He's flat out one of the best players. You know, I'd break the bank for him. I think he's the best of the best. He plays with elegance. He's clinical, intelligent. He is everything that Nunez isn't. Look at what the Swede has done to Liverpool before. Made the best centre-back in the world look like Trent. Isak is the type of player that makes everything look effortless. And if Liverpool pull this off, it won't just be a good signing. It will be the signing that takes them to the next level. But can it actually happen? In the beginning I thought these rumors were just media companies trying to get more clicks. Slapped together a couple of vague phrases, put Isak to Liverpool as the headline, and boom. Free engagement. But then I did some digging and I realized that Ornstein has been reporting on this since March of 2020. In a Q&A he did with The Athletic, he talked about Liverpool being one of the sides who are really keen on making the deal happen on the condition that Isak is actually available. In Ornstein's own words, Liverpool are not the type of club to engage in a wild goose chase. They aren't United, but United are, so offered. It's unbelievable. Okay, I added that last part in. Ornstein didn't say that. Now it comes as no surprise that teams want Isak. He had one of his best ever individual seasons, picking up 27 goals, helping Newcastle win a trophy and helping them secure Champions League football. Unfortunately, Liverpool had front-row seats to Isak's magic in the Carabao Cup final. What a player! The thing about Isak joining Liverpool is that he would continue a legacy. He would join a lineage of Liverpool having an elite striker that stretches back decades. During most periods, the Reds always had someone world-class leading the line. For older Liverpool fans, they will remember Ian Rush and Kenny Douglas. Two strikers who absolutely dominated everyone in their path. Then there was Michael Owen, who won a Ballon d'Or as a Liverpool striker. An incredible player. Shame he isn't as good of a pundit as he was as a player. Then of course there was Fernando Torres and Luis Suarez. Torres ruined a wonderful career, and by moving to Chelsea. Which is a shame because the Liverpool version of him was one of the most complete strikers I've ever seen. Fast. Strong, skillful. Yet now he's remembered more for the miss against United than what he was doing to teams in 2008. For Suarez, to this day I still believe the 2014 version of him was the highest peak I have ever seen from a Premier League player. He was a freak of nature. He would bite you, then score a hat-trick. He was phenomenal at Liverpool. He was incredible. He had an attitude that I liked. You know, he didn't take any nonsense. I know he did one or two things that he shouldn't have done over his career, but ability-wise, yeah, without a doubt. He was sensational. But ever since Luis Suarez, Liverpool have not had a truly elite striker. I consider Firmino a bit of an exception. He was a genius, one of the most important players in the Klopp era. But he was a false nine. He was a creator, a connector, someone who brought others into the play. He wasn't a true nine like the other players that I mentioned. After Firmino, Darwin Núñez was supposed to be that guy. They paid the big fee, bought into the hype, and at times it looked like he might just explode. He had moments. I don't think any Liverpool fan would say he didn't contribute. They don't win the league without his performance against Brentford. But for what they paid, they expected a star. a player that would have followed the lineage of elite nines at Liverpool. Instead, they got a guy who every time he was in front of goal it felt like a coin toss. If he was going to score, he was either going to put a top bins or out of the stadium. He has the pace, the power, the movement. But when you can't deliver week in week out, those attributes mean nothing. And that's where Isak comes in. A striker who can bring consistency and calmness to the number 9 rule. Something that Liverpool haven't had in a long, long time. In fact, they won the league, while at times using a left winger up front. All of their goals pretty much came from one man on the right wing. For different reasons. Nunez and Hoda have both failed to lead the line for Slot. Hoda actually started out on fire in the beginning of the 2025 season. He was linking up well with the midfield and looked like the type of striker that Slot wanted. But then he got injured, and when he came back he didn't look the same. Maybe he played too much weekend league. The problem for Hoda has always been injuries. When he's healthy, he's a great forward. He can score with both feet. He can be clinical. And despite being a short guy, he's a threat in the air. But he isn't getting any younger. And every injury is hurting him more and more now. Then Nunez has a different problem. He just isn't clinical. Great pace, great aggression. But all of that becomes useless when you have rocks for brains. Slot did his best to improve every player he inherited. But even he couldn't get Nunez clicking. And what pissed off the Dutchman more than the misses was Nunez's attitude after a miss. And players miss chances that I can accept. But what was a bit harder for me to accept that his behavior after that, chance behavior. I mean, I think it got too much in his head where he wasn't the usual Darwin that works his ass off. And he stopped running and working hard for the team. Qualities that Slot does not want to see from any player. As you can see from this data from The Athletic, both Hoda and Nunez were underperforming their expected goal. So the chances were being created. It's just neither of these guys were clinical enough to actually bury them. Then look at this graphic. You can see that Liverpool had a lack of shots coming from central areas in the box. Of course, the right side is booming because of Salah, but the middle is like a desert because Liverpool don't have someone elite there. A complete overhaul of the strikers altogether seems a bit extreme. But it's obvious that an upgrade is needed in that position. Yes, the arrival of Wirtz will help. But a player like Isak would take this team to another galaxy. This is a player who was putting up Alan Shearer-esque numbers at Newcastle. He was part of an exclusive group of Newcastle players who have scored in 7 consecutive Premier League games. There is a reason this guy is valued at £150 million and nobody thinks it's an overpay. It's 'cause he's the full package. People will focus on how good he is at dribbling, which I will discuss later in the video. But I want you guys to focus on how much better he has gotten in the 6-yard box. Remember how Liverpool were struggling to get shots off centrally in the box? Well, that's the exact area that Isak dominates in. Only a few other players have scored more goals in the 6-yard box in a single Premier League season. Now, if you guys want to add to the ESAC budget, just pick yourself up a Liverpool jersey from buygamejerseys.com and use code PETTALKS for a discount. And now that they have beefed up the other areas of the team, Isak, he's at the top of their wish list. They are serious about bringing him to the club. Newcastle, though, are ready. They've made it clear. If Liverpool want to start talking, they better come in with a huge offer. Get your wallet out. That's all. I'd say 100 million for a player. It's frightening, isn't it? Some people say it would take at least £150 million just to get Newcastle to pick up the phone. If you got the 150 million. No is the answer really. So how much do you want? Others think it could go as high as £200 million. While all of this is going on, Liverpool are looking at other options. Names like Julian Alvarez, Victor Gyökeres, and even Victor Osimhen have been mentioned. But let's be honest. Isak is the one that they really want. He's not just a good player. He's one of the best strikers in the world. He's Premier League, proven calm in front of goal and dangerous from every angle. If Liverpool can make this happen, it will be the move that takes this new-look team to another galaxy. 'Cause the team that Slot is shaping up right now is already crazy. Good to see how good you have to check out this video right here.